welcome to Leaving CrazyTown with Finn and Sarah. What are we going to talk about today, Sarah?
We're going to talk about how to stay sober. I mean, it's one thing to get sober, right, Finn? Which requires a bunch of tools. But we're going to discuss literally staying sober, because many people can get sober, but it's harder to stay sober. So that's going to be the topic today.
And there are many things that people do to stay sober, but we're primarily going to talk about what we do, right?
Yes,
Okay.
Absolutely. We're going to talk about what we do.
We'd love to hear what you do down in the
And
comments.
we love to hear what you do. We also want to say a couple of minor things, which is we have merch. We're announcing merch.
Leaving CrazyTown.
Leaving CrazyTown t-shirts. So if you want any merch, we have sweatshirts, we have cups, we have t-shirts. To promote the Leaving CrazyTown channel, go to thesobercurator.com. And that is a sober lifestyle magazine in which every episode of Leaving CrazyTown is on the magazine and write-ups on the episode. Also, Dr. Sarah has written quite a few articles, including Dating Over 60, which is kind of a fun article some of you might be interested
Not
in
relevant
reading.
for me.
Of course, it's not relevant for many people, but you will get some laughs. It is pretty funny. So check out the online magazine. Check out our merch. You can order merch if you'd like to. And what else? We're going to talk about staying sober. So Finn, what is your first tool on staying sober for the long run?
All right, so, I got sober and now I'm sober. And most of the things on my list I was taught by my sponsor.
Oh,
All right.
Excellent.
So the first thing I do is when I have a thought of drinking, no matter how innocuous or minor it seems, I do the same thing I did when I first got sober. I ask for the thought of drinking to be removed, and I tell another alcoholic, even if that requires me to call them. I was taught this because I was told to not let the seed get planted, and it gets it removed immediately. And even if it's like, because I don't know if this ever happens to you, Sarah, but even though I never think about drinking, occasionally I'd be like, oh, I should have a glass of wine with that steak or something, like, as if I did drink wine, but probably not like, delicately. But that's my first one. Even if it's like a minor thought or, oh, that sounds thirst quenching, I mowed the lawn, I want a beer, whatever. I ask my higher power, I'm like, please remove that thought, and I tell someone ASAP. I don't hang on to it.
brilliant. God, it's so interesting because you're gonna, I think, have more specific tools and I have much more general tools, but I thought of another one that I'm gonna add on to that one. And this is something I'm sure a lot of you have heard.
She's piggybacking me.
I'm piggybacking you, is think it through. And this is the thing, the tool that helped me the most in my early recovery and to stay sober, and even later, one of the times, literally, I think I was probably 15 years sober, one of the times that I really felt like drinking was when my mother passed away. And I know that's, a tough time, grief and all that stuff, but I was shocked. And when I use that tool years later, think it through, this is what happens. So I think of going down to this bar called the Cherry Tree, which I think still exists. And I would have a few cocktails. And what would happen after a few cocktails? Cocaine. I'd have to get some coke. So then I'd have to, but before I got the coke, I'd have to figure out how am I going to get the money for coke, which we don't even want to go down that road because there's lots of options there and most of them are illegal.
Well, this is really interesting because my sponsor told me never to think it through. My sponsor told me I was too sick to use my mind to cure my alcoholism and not to think it through because I could justify anything.
Oh, wow.
So it's interesting. That's how, what works for you didn't necessarily work for me.
Absolutely. Oh
Yeah.
my God, this was like the biggest tool because
I never used it.
where I would end up is usually with a stranger waking up 3 days from now in another town, God knows where, owing shitloads of money and feeling like crap. So for me, that was the biggest tool I used. For Finn, it wasn't. So again, whatever works for you, and everybody kind of hooks on to something that works for them. Okay, go ahead. Number two.
Number two, early on in sobriety, if I was having a frustrating day, I would go to bed. I would take a nap
Got it.
because I often would wake up feeling better.
Yeah, sleep therapy, nap therapy, brilliant. Okay, my second one was trying to start being able to identify feeling states. And of course, I'm a shrink, and I'm going to say this because the thing is, a lot of times, you know, the saying relapse happens way before the relapse happens. So a lot of times something would happen to me where I might have a feeling. I might be angry, I might be scared, I might be sad, and I wouldn't know it. And then a week later, I'd feel like drinking. So starting to notice and pause and get in touch with, and, you know, say to yourself, what am I really experiencing right now? Starting to just identify feelings, acknowledge feelings, and tolerate feelings is big. Okay, go ahead.
All right, number 3 for me is reduce anxiety-provoking and frustrating situations. So areas in my life that, you know, I wouldn't avoid them, but I'd look at, you know, maybe my relationships. Are there areas I need to speak up? Am I getting myself caught into scenarios, codependent scenarios? So anything that was causing me more frustration and anxiety, I would reduce the anxiety and frustration with different tools.
Got it. Okay.
I had to
brilliant.
look at like areas where I was getting frustrated. Because
Yes.
for me, the efforts were a dangerous zone.
Yeah, being frustrated is not a good thing. So brilliant. Changing environments, or at least identifying what things are going to trigger anxiety. Brilliant. Okay. My next one is staying connected to human beings, whether it's going to a support program or a support meeting, whether it's having a list of people you can call. And this is ongoing. I mean, I've been sober a long time, and this is the thing. There have been times in my sobriety when I've been more connected than others. And it's really a dangerous time when you suddenly realize, oh my God, I've really lost contact with people. I've lost contact with meetings. I've gotten really either involved in work or involved in parenting or whatever it is. Because we can get isolated no matter how long we've been sober.
And I've seen people isolated in meetings.
Ah, yes.
So it's really, when Sarah
Yes.
says connected, she means actually connected. People know you there.
Yes, actually opening your mouth and sharing your thoughts and feelings. It's so funny you say that, because I knew a guy that went to meetings for 6 years and went to all speaker meetings, sat in the back, and never talked to anyone.
Sounds like a nightmare.
I don't know how he did it.
Yeah, my sponsor said get in the middle of the pack.
I can't even imagine. All right, go ahead.
All right.
Next
All
one
right.
for you.
Number 4, I don't play at drinking, meaning mocktails or using wine glasses or shot glasses for fun. I was taught that by my sponsor that, you know, there's no reason to. It romanticizes drinking, even though, and I know a lot of people do non-alcoholic drinks now and all this stuff. It's just, I was taught by an old school sponsor, no playing at drinking. I got rid of my wine glasses, my shot glasses, beer mugs, things like that.
Got it.
And just, if I'm going to have a drink, I have it out of a water glass. You know?
Got it.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Okay, great. Do things that are uncomfortable. All right, so this is the thing, people. I know. This is staying sober. This isn't getting sober. Maybe you don't want it. Well, getting sober is uncomfortable. So my point is that being a human being can be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Feelings are uncomfortable. Situations are uncomfortable.
Social.
I'm in a new freaking relationship. Are you kidding? It's uncomfortable pretty much all the time.
And she's 1,000 years sober.
And I'm 1,000 years sober. So believe me, learning how to just kind of embrace and allow and know that life can be uncomfortable.
I will say this. My sponsor was like inviting me over bonfires, cookouts all last summer. And I said, no, I don't do social stuff with, you know, people. Like, I have my friends. I don't. And he said, well, maybe you should make yourself, maybe you'll get more comfortable if you do it, right? So I would have to say that since I started taking his advice and showing up to like potlucks and things like that, my life has expanded.
Yes.
Like, I've met people that I saw for years that I never talked to that have become close friends.
Yes, it's so true. If you can just take the step and get to the other side, oh my gosh, it does open up a whole new world. All right, let's just whip through. You got
The
any more?
last
We're going to
one?
whip
Yeah.
through the rest of them.
That was just 4, I thought.
Go ahead. All right, of course I lose track.
Helping other people in recovery. So, like, yesterday I was a little down and I was having a hard time and feeling lonely and sad and missing my wife. And I had an alcoholic coming over to help. And then I was going to meet another alcoholic to help them. So helping others, like, really fills me up and gets me out of my own space and thinking about what's going on.
Oh, that's such a good one. Yes, getting out of yourself and helping. This is another one that's kind of, again, similar to the previous emotion ones, but just riding the waves of emotion. This is the thing.
This too shall pass.
This too shall pass. And this is the thing. We are humans. I know I keep saying this, but sometimes I run into people that don't think having emotions is human. God, someone recently, I can't remember what they said, and I was like, yeah, we're human beings. Like, yeah, we're human beings. We get sad. Or whatever the thing was. So just again, embracing that we are human beings. We have feelings. We ride the emotions, and we don't attach meaning. All right, that's another one. All right, I'm adding another one. Don't make up big stories about why you're having all the feelings. Sometimes it's just feelings, just riding them. I mean, you can figure it out with your sponsor later. Just stay sober through it.
It's taken me a while to figure out that if I just let the feelings flow, they end really fast.
Yes.
You know? Yeah.
Yes. All right.
And I don't die. I just thought I'd die.
Oh God, no.
Oh God, I have a feeling I'm gonna die.
Yes. Yes, riding the waves of emotions, staying connected. This is my last one, and I know we've lost track of the things, but the numbers. Find something that gets you up in the morning. Sobriety definitely is number one that gets you up in the morning, but as you stay sober, it's our job to create a life for ourselves. And yes, there's a job and there's family, but really what I'm discovering as I get older is you have to have some interests that really turn you on, things that excite you. It could just be sponsoring people, or it could be having a garden. It could be whatever, but you have to have more reasons to get up in the morning.
The other thing that should be obvious is 24 hours, just today. So I was I very often projected into the future or worried about things I had done in the past. And my sponsor was always like, keep your head where your feet are, keep your head where your feet are. And it's a big practice of mine today. If I have something I'm really nervous about in 2 weeks, and somebody will be like, oh, whatever, I'll be like, oh, I'm not there yet, you know? And I really get to have peace. I don't get to have misery for 2 weeks until I'm there, which then I'm going to want to relieve with drugs or alcohol.
Absolutely. Another one, gratitude. This is the thing, whenever you're feeling some negativity, or like you have this, like your perception of the world has gotten like this, expand it a little.
I do gratitude lists every day.
Yeah, gratitude lists every day. Remember, just shifting your perception. Pull the lens back. Like yesterday, I got all involved in this tiny little thing, and it was like so meaningless. And so pulling the lens back, seeing the big picture, remembering it'll pass. All right, that's it. We love you. Tell us how you stay sober in the chat. Any tools you can share would be great. We're
out of here.
We're out of here.